Hi, Sharks. My name is Erica. I'm from Iowa City, Iowa, and I'm here seeking $100,000 for 6% in my company, No Limits. Sharks, did you know there are 14 million people who struggle with daily living activities such as dressing themselves due to a disability? But there just aren't that many options out there. So I created No Limits, an adaptive clothing brand with the mission of increasing comfort, confidence, and independence in those who struggle with clothing due to a disability. We started with pants for amputees. They feature hidden zippers to make it easier to dress and undress, as well as make prosthetic adjustments throughout the day. We put in reinforced patches to stand up to the carbon fiber parts and mechanical needs from prosthetics. And we specially shaped them to fit around the extra bulk of a prosthetic socket. I don't put my pants on just like everybody else. I was in an accident in 2018 and lost my leg. Suddenly, I wasn't able to wear what everyone else was wearing. My prosthetic was bulky, tearing holes in my clothes, and I had to completely undress anytime I needed to make a prosthetic adjustment. And I wasn't alone. As we were building, people with a variety of physical challenges were reaching out to us, so we decided to add sensory and wheelchair product lines to our collection. So Sharks, are you ready to help everyone live life with no limits?
Good job.
All right, I love it. I figured when we were going through the website, and I'll link that at the end up here of this video. I figured that there had to be a story around this, and that is an absolute shame that Erica had to go through and experience that. But I love the ingenuity and thought of like, there's got to be a better way to do this. Why isn't there a better way to do this? I'm going to do the better way of making this happen, and bam, here we are, right? So, I assume there's some sales and things going on. I don't know that you can patent zippers and things like that, but I think I always talk about niche or niche, however you want to say it, and how if you go over to superjoepardo.com/avatar and get my free avatar building guide over at superjoepardo.com/avatar, it's 64 questions. You fill out all of those questions in that PDF. That free PDF, and you will be able to really hone in on your particular ideal customer. And in this case, Erica is that ideal customer, so it was very easy for her to know. And then people outside say, "Hey, can you help us too?" And of course, she jumped right in. So I'm very happy to see this. This is awesome.
Thank you. You took a negative and you turned it into such a positive. So tell us about what's up here.
So we have our pants for amputees, which are denim right now. There are some sneak peeks of joggers.
Denim?
Yes.
Oh, exciting.
Just for you.
Wow. I'm really excited about denim.
And
You
then,
said the magic word.
Emma, you actually have a sample of our wheelchair pants. So what those are, we have a seamless back with no pockets. They have zippers on the sides, so it's easier to dress while laying down. And they have the reinforced patches. You'll notice the zipper, it starts on the ankle.
Reinforced patches?
So most prosthetics are made out of carbon fiber.
Right.
And the socket sits right at the knee.
Got it.
So when people are walking around, it wears holes in their pants really quickly.
Got it. Holes that we don't want.
Exactly.
Right. Not
Exactly.
the distressing kind. I've got it.
Yeah. Also, you have a sample of our sensory collection. We developed a special material that's non-aggravating to those with sensory processing disorder. It's knit, non-irritating. It has a cool touch feel.
And where are you manufacturing right now?
Bangladesh.
Erica, how big is this market? Like, can you build a sustainable business at scale for this?
Absolutely. The U.S. total addressable market is $2.6 billion.
It's a huge market. I've done a little bit of work in this. So earlier this year, Skims were Team USA's Olympic sponsor. And we also sponsor the Paralympics, which is actually my favourite part of the Games. So we've actually looked quite a lot into accessibility, specifically for underwear and shapewear. So what I really want to understand is more about the technical aspect of what you're doing differently and what sets you apart. Because there's a ton of competition, right?
Actually, not a lot
Not
in the
much?
adaptive space.
Really?
And it is easier to obtain IP on adaptive clothing because it serves a functional purpose. So we're drafting a patent right now for the zipper on the inseam of the pant all the way halfway up the thigh.
I love it. But lots.
Okay, so that is great to hear that she's able to hopefully get that patent and secure an opportunity for her to go and defend their solution against other clothing companies. Because look, if you're in the textile industry, making clothes are difficult to make when you're talking about specialty clothes, right? and getting, a factory on board with making it a certain way, and going out of their way to make something that at least somewhat mass produced, that's different than just, the normal t-shirt, the normal this, that, and the third. So I mean, I don't want to speak too much to it, because like, while I do know about, the getting shirts printed and made, like, I know I've gotten stuff made up in the past, so I have connections in that industry, but not to the level to the custom stuff that or custom to that specific company to be mass producing. So I definitely think, look, I mean, obviously Robert's eyes lit up there with that, with being 2 billion in that industry, or in that niche for people who need these kinds of clothes. And I mean, I know a couple of amputees over the years that I've gotten to meet over the years, and yeah, definitely I could see this being a thing. Needing the extra padding, the extra patches and stuff. I almost wonder too, like, is there an opportunity to make replaceable patches? I mean, I guess technically you could get any kind of patch, but almost like an extra, for like the people who are extra active and they need something because they're constantly moving around doing stuff all day long. Do they need something even stronger? And like, is there an opportunity there to craft a patch or a type of clothing that's lined even stronger than just the extra lining that's there now?
So jeans have zippers. Like, what's different about your zipper?
The construction that it's hidden. Just because it's adaptive doesn't mean it has to look adaptive.
Got it. And do you think you'll get that patent?
Yes. Our patent attorney was a former patent attorney for Nike.
And what did the jeans cost?
Yeah, so we have an $18 cost of goods sold, landed in our distribution center in St. Louis. We sell them for $70.
70.
Wow,
Yes.
that's a great margin.
Emma, what's that as a price point for a jean?
That's very good. It's
It is.
middle of the market. It's certainly not premium. It's perfect.
How are you reaching your customer? How do they know you're out there?
So right now we have a $14 customer acquisition cost on Facebook. Our digital ad spend is doing really well because people share it and tag people that they know who could use it. But actually, the method I'm really excited about to launch is tapping into healthcare systems, clinics, people who are interfacing with these people all day and every day. Over 80% of people who struggle with clothing due to a disability, the first or second person they ask is actually their healthcare provider.
That's a great idea. Tell me a little bit more about you, though.
Yeah, so I was studying during my accident. I was on an internship in Colorado, and I got my dream job offer, which was to be a plutonium chemist at Los Alamos National Lab.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
What made you want to be a plutonium chemist?
I just fell in love with it. It was cool because it had applications on the Mars rover. I loved the idea of discovering something new. And then when I was in my accident, I was no longer able to work in the lab because it was dangerous. I was on crutches for a really long time. And so I started altering clothes, and then it just snowballed.
That's great.
I mean, apart from the
That's a terrible story, but with a great outcome. And Erica, you seem like you have a really great attitude there to be able to take something that should have been an incredible opportunity and then find your own something, discoveries that you were able to impart on other people to make their lives better. Ding ding, that is super for sure.
obvious. How has the accident really changed your life?
I mean, it opened my eyes to things that I never would have experienced before. I obviously would not want to go through that pain again, but I felt like this is my purpose.
Yeah,
and
it's
if
your
I can
calling.
make this mean something, then it was something that happened to me for a reason.
I think the hallmark of our business is that we talk about never having to sacrifice style for the sake of inclusivity. So if you are in the plus size spectrum, or if you're a shorter woman or a taller woman, you don't want to have to make sacrifices. And so I think more optionality everywhere in the market is needed. And that's what I'm talking about in this accessibility market. It's huge. So for me, this is incredible. But back to the sales. Give us the numbers. What are you selling at the moment?
Yeah, so I did $26,000 on my sewing machine, and then I pre-sold $41,000 in the pants for amputees, and that's the only thing that we've put to market so far.
And is that pre-sold to individuals online or to?
Half was to individuals, and then half was our purchase order on the behalf of the VA. For $500 units as a phase 1 with a letter of intent for a phase 2 for $100,000 in the state of Minnesota and to scale nationally.
Oh, congratulations. How
Thank
did you get into the VA?
All right, before we get to that, I mean, that's huge to get into the VA. That opens up a ton of opportunity there. But sadly, a lot of opportunity. But yeah, I mean, that does put a damper. The overall sales, and even with a PO for $100,000, does put a bit of a damper on the valuation. But at $100,000, if she owns 100% of the company, there's, I would tend to think that there's room to move, and that's why, she's asking for $100,000, because it generally, is better to go maybe a little on the lower side. I'm curious as to what she wants to use the money for. Maybe a new sewing machine or two, to not have the one she has completely destroyed. She should put it up on a shelf or something at some point. But yeah, she needs. I'm sure somebody's going to want probably closer to 20%.
They reached out to us.
They reached out to
That's
you.
fabulous.
Yes.
Erica, you are exactly the type of person that I like to invest in. You've got the product, you've figured it out, you've got purchase orders. This is an absolute no-brainer. Mark, do you want to come in on this?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Let's do
come
it
in.
together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I am very happy with the 100K. You asked for 100K for 6%.
12%.
Wow.
Can you make it
yes.
12%? And you get Mark and me.
Would you do 100K for 10%?
I like that she's negotiating. Give her 10%. Yes. You
All
got a deal.
right.
Deal.
That's awesome. Woo.
That was perfect. Thank you.
I love it.
Such a sweetheart. Don't cry. Well done. You nailed it. The product's
Make me
amazing.
cry.
You're going to do a great job.
Thank you so
Good
much.
job, Erica.
You're gonna
Thank
kill it.
you. Thank you so much.
So cute.
It's just been a really hard road to get here, and now I feel like everything's gonna be okay. There are very few moments that you can point to and say, my life changed then, but like this is absolutely going to be one of them.
I mean, you talk about capitalism to have impact, right?
Yeah,
Just
that's
doing
it.
it for the right reason.
Emma, you could not be a more perfect partner for
Oh,
her.
no. We're going to make really
Yes.
cute jeans.
Perfect partner.
Done.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Erica, I would love to have you come on the show, talk about your Shark Tank experience, talk about your business. Would love to learn more about your story. Just drop a comment down below like Catherine did. Says, love the show. Watching from the Dominican Republic. Thank you so much for watching, Catherine. I greatly appreciate you. All the way down the Dominican Republic. We are just all over the planet with the super community. Anyway, if you want to check out their website, if you want to check out Erica's website and social media with me, go up here. If not, I'll see you in the video down below. Take care and go be super.